Welcome to the Fresh Toones Music Show. My name's Dave Paltz, and I'll be playing some of my songs. And today's theme is politics, or our democracy, and the struggles that we're finding ourselves in these days. Might not be that upbeat, but I'm going to start out with a song that is kind of positive. It's called If There's a Will, There's a Way. And it confronts some of the challenges that we have today.
America can't breathe if we refuse to see the things we need to change today. We've worked through harder things, some say this one's too big. There's a will, there is a way. So lift up your eyes now, stand up and say, she's not perfect and neither am I. We've got to work together if we want to survive. We've got to use our heads and figure it out and be brave enough to look at ourselves. 'Cause America can't breathe if we refuse to see the things we need to change today. We've worked through harder things, some say this one's too big. But there's a will, there is a way. We've got to lift up our eyes now, stand up and say, well, she's not perfect and neither am I. We've got to work together if we want to survive. We've got to use our heads and figure it out. Be brave enough to look at ourselves. America can't breathe if we refuse to see the things we need to change today. We've worked through harder things, some say this one's too big. But if there's a will, there is a way. If there's a will, there is a way. There's a will, there is a way. If there's a will, there is a way. If there's a will, there is a way. If there's a will, there is a way.
Well, that was called If There's a Will, There's a Way. And I really believe that. So I'm going to keep fighting for things that I think can be improved. And I've seen a lot of things improve over the years, but I see a lot that yet needs to be done. Now let's go into the darker parts of our political system. And this song is called Shady Cash. And it's about all the dark money that lingers in the alleys of Washington, D.C., and take note that I sing that it comes from left and right, and it's a corrupting element that we really have to correct. So let's work to get Citizens United decision corrected and out of the law books, and let's see if we can do our politics more in the light. So here we go with Shady Cash.
There's a safe off in the corner filled with shady cash. We thought we'd found an answer, but crooks can always find the grab. A way to get their goodies as they lead us all astray, with all kinds of antics and the slippery words they say. Well, there's shady cash, and she comes from left and right. We've got to drag her kicking back into the light. She lurks in every alley and she dances in the night. She thinks that she is trying, but she's in for quite a fight. We came so close to impeachment, but they left flashing victory signs, and now we fight the battle with the courts that they've enshrined. It's a sorry day for justice when shadow consumes the light, when smiling baby kissers get their bribes right in plain sight. Yes, there's Shady Cash, and she comes from left and right. We've got to drag her kicking back into the light. Yeah, she lurks in every alley and she dances in the night. She thinks she has triumphed, but she's in for quite a fight. Well, there's nothing really new here. It's always been around. But if we make excuses, the worst is yet to come. It's really very simple. If we don't care, then we will pay. To restore some integrity, this is what we've got to say. Yeah, there's Shady Cash, and she comes from left and right. We've got to drag her kicking back into the light. She lurks in every alley and she dances in the night. She thinks that she has triumphed, but she's in for quite a fight. Well, she's in for quite a fight. Yeah, she's in for quite a fight. She's in for quite a fight. Shady Cash. Shady Cash. Well, she's in for quite a fight. Shady Cash.
That was called Shady Cash. You can be pretty sure that this dark money is not going to go lightly into the night. So we're going to have to work at it, and we're going to have to drag it out back into the light and get rid of it. The next song I wrote many years ago, but I made a video for one of our recent presidential candidates that had been saying some pretty absurd things, and it's really hard for me to believe that people are accepting these statements and making excuses for them. This song is called Have You Heard the Absurd?
Have you heard the words? Have you heard the absurd? Have you heard the words? Have you heard the absurd? Have you heard from the party of God? Have you heard from the chosen ones? Have you heard the pain going round? Have you heard the absurd? Have you heard from leaders that divide? Have you heard from preachers with hateful minds? Have you heard the children crying out for love? Have you heard the absurd? Have you heard from them saying, join our club? Have you heard them say God doesn't love everyone? Have you seen the vile in their eyes? Have you heard the absurd? Speak your words and say them clear. Free your heart from those preaching fear. find your way on a path you choose. Share your love and she will share with you.
And that was Have You Heard the Absurd? In our increasingly corrupt democracy, if we're going to get it back on track, we're going to have to know where the money's coming from. And that'll be part of the deal for running for office in this country. And I don't know why it's not a given now, but if we're going to clean it up, they're going to have to show us the money and where it came from. And then we can track and see just what the privilege that this money is buying for these people. So this song is called Show Us the Money.
Show us the money, where does it come from? Show us the money that makes your campaign run. Show us the money, and don't just show us some. We've got to know what makes your motor hum. Show us the money there, where does it come from? Show us the money that get those crooked deals done. Show us the money and who bought you that vote. We've got to know before we go to vote. Show us the money, our representatives. Show us the money and how you choose your friends. Show us the money and your stock dividends. We've got to know to bring this lie to an end. I said now, show us the money, we'll make the right choice. Show us the money and listen to the people's voice. Show us the money, and if you're corrupt, we'll put you on the next train that's coming up. I said now, show us the money. Show us the money. Show us the money, and don't just show us some. We've got to know what makes your motor hum. Show us the money. Show it to us now. Show us the money. Show us the money, and who bought you that boat? We've got to know before we go to vote. I said, show us the money, yeah, show us now. Show us the money. Show us the money, who bought you that boat? We've got to know before we go to vote.
And that was called Show Us the Money. Well, right now, a lot of that money is coming through super PACs. And how they devise this to get around, to get their briberies, I just can't believe that we've accepted it. The next song is called Super PACs, How Dumb Do You Think We Are? And I guess if we don't do something to correct it, we're pretty dumb.
Super PACs, how dumb do you think we are? Money equals free speech, you say. And corporations are people today. Lincoln, and this is what we've got to say. We will fight, won't be denied. We've always fought for freedom. You might not hear, but it's pretty clear. We will fight for our freedom. Super PACs, how dumb do you think we are? The palms are greased of the ones who made break the laws. It's no surprise that Citizens United was brought to light. But we're the citizens that need to stand up and say, we will fight, won't be denied. We've always fought for freedom. You might not hear, but it's pretty clear. We will fight for our freedom. We will fight, won't be denied. We've always fought for freedom. You might not hear, but it's pretty clear. We will fight for our freedom. One more time now. We will fight, won't be denied. We've always fought for freedom. You might not hear, but it's pretty clear. We will fight for our freedom.
And that was called Super PACs. How dumb do you think we are? The next song I'd like to share with you might not seem to fit totally with the theme of political corruption that I've been singing about in today's show. But in actuality, it's the core of where all that corruption comes from. And it's the driving force is really greed and pride and ego. And these characteristics, I guess, are things that we all need to watch out for. That's what I sing about in this song. So this song is called Greed.
It's hard for me to turn down money because that's not what I've done in my whole life. I grab and grab and grab. You know, I get greedy. I want money. Now I'll tell you what we're going to do, right? We get greedy, right? Now we're going to get greedy for the United States. We're going to grab and grab and grab. We're going to bring in so much money and so much everything. We're going to make America great again, folks. I'm telling you, we're going to make America great again.
Greed can kill you faster than a bullet. Greed will grab you right by the throat. Greed will take you off on tangents. Drive a stake right through your heart. Yes, drive a stake right through your heart. Though she thirsts for blood and treasure, she will never find her fill. Her darkness will forever blind you. Be your closest friend. Yes, cold will be your closest friend. The light will strive to find you, but greed will bar your eyes. You thought that you had found the answer, but greed has left you numb. You've forgotten from whence you've come. As you beg to once more see the sun, but greed rarely releases anyone. So take this time before you fall that's what you want to be. To stand up and just say no to greed. Greed has no place for me. Greed knows no love but greed. If we could give our love for free, then love will let us be. Then love will let us be. Then love will let us be. Then love will let us be.
So there you go. If we can all just say no to greed, we'll all be better off. I hated using Nancy Reagan's line about just say no. Of course, she was referring to something totally different. But that song was called Greed. The last song for today is called Can You Hear the Bells of Freedom? And I wrote it during the time of the Occupy movement on Wall Street. And it was my way to show a little support for them. And then when we had our Occupy Rochester, I was able to give them material support and moral support, and went down there a few times to visit with the folks and take bound supplies and books and everything. So this one is called Can You Hear the Bells of Freedom?
Can you hear the people suffering? Can you hear the people's cry? Can you hear the words they're saying before it becomes a roar? Can you hear the waves rolling in? Can you hear the bells of freedom ringing in the streets? Will you use your ears to heed them before it is too late? Can you hear the sound of what's to come? Can you see what you've been missing in those caves with only walls? Can you see the light leaking from an exit you never saw? Can you see the light of love? Can you hear the footsteps coming around the bend? Can you hear the whispers growing that warn of things to come? Will you heed the sound and become one with your love?
Well, that was our last song for this show. And there's a particular line of that song that I love. It goes like this. Can you hear the waves rolling in? So let's keep this evolution or revolution rolling ahead. Keep singing our songs and fighting for what we know is right. And I'd just like to thank Rochester Free Radio once again for the opportunity to be able to share my Fresh Tunes. This has been the Fresh Toones Music Show with Dave Pultz, Have a great week, and keep fighting a good fight.
Fresh Toones. Fresh Toones.
If you'd like to check out some of the music videos to these songs, you can check them out at Dave's Fresh Toones at YouTube. That's Dave's Fresh Toones. That's one word with no spaces. And Tunes has 2 O's, not a U. Thanks.